The Bugatti Type 57 and later variants was an entirely new design by Jean Bugatti, son of founder Ettore. Type 57s were built from 1934 through 1940, with a total of 710 examples produced. Most Type 57s used a twin-cam 3,257cc engine based on that of the Type 49 but heavily modified by Jean Bugatti. Unlike the chain-drive twin-cam engines of the Type 50 and 51, the 57's engine used gears to transmit power from the crankshaft. There were two basic variants of the Type 57 car, the original Type 57, the lower Type 57S. The Type 57 chassis and engine was revived in 1951 as the Bugatti Type 101 for a short production. A rediscovered Type 57 sold for €3.4 million at auction on February 7, 2009 at a motor show in Paris. Type 57G, the famous Type 57G tank-bodied racers used the 57S chassis in 1936 and 1937 and the 57C for 1939. Type 57. The original Type 57 was a touring car model produced from 1934 through 1940. It used the 3.3L engine from the Type 59 Grand Prix cars, producing 135 horsepower. Top speed was 95 miles per hour. It rode on a 130-inch wheelbase and had a 53.1-inch wide track. Road-going versions weighed about 2,100 pounds. Hydraulic brakes replaced the cable-operated units in 1938, a modification Ettore Bugatti hotly contested. 630 examples were produced. The original road-going Type 57 included a smaller version of the Royale square-bottom horseshoe grille. The sides of the engine compartment were covered with thermostatically controlled shutters. It was a tall car, contrary to the tastes of the time. Dimensions: wheelbase 130 in, track 53.1 in, weight 2,100 pounds. Equals Type 57 tons equals. The tuned Type 57T pushed the performance of the basic Type 57. It was capable of reaching 115 miles per hour. Equals Type 57 carats equals. A Type 57C racing car was built from 1937 through 1940, with about 96 produced. It shared the 3.3L engine from the road-going Type 57 but produced 160 horsepower with a Roots-type supercharger fitted. Equals Type 57C tank equals, the second incarnation tank, this time based on the Type 57C, won Le Mans again in 1939. Shortly afterwards, Jean Bugatti took the winning car for a test on the Molsheim-Strasbourg road. Swerving to avoid a drunken bicyclist on the closed road, Bugatti crashed the car and died at age 30. Type 57S. The Type 57S SC is one of the best-known Bugatti cars. The S stood for Cerbesa copyright. It included a V-shaped dip at the bottom of the radiator and mesh grilles on either side of the engine compartment. Lowering the car was a major undertaking. The rear axle now passed through the rear frame rather than riding under it, and a dry sump lubrication system was required to fit the engine under the new low hood. The 57S had a nearly independent suspension in front, though Ettore despised that notion. Just 43 Cerbesa copyright cars were built. Dimensions: wheelbase 117.3 in, track 53.1 in, weight 2,100 pounds. Equals Type 57SC equals, just two supercharged Type 57SC cars were built new, but most 57S owners wanted the additional power afforded by the blower. Therefore, most of the original Type 57S cars returned to Molsheim for the installation of a supercharger, pushing output from 175 horsepower to 200 horsepower and 120 miles per hour. 2014 saw the unveiling of Ralph Lauren's unique $40 million version of this classic. Equals or copyright Relith concept and Atlantic production cars equals. The Atlantic body Type 57S featured flowing coupe lines with a pronounced dorsal seam running front to back. It was based on the or copyright Relith concept car of 1935 and styled by Jean Bugatti. Like the Type 59 Grand Prix car, The or copyright relief used electron or duralumin for its body panels. Therefore, the body panels were riveted externally, creating the signature seam. However, the production Atlantics used plain aluminium, but the dorsal seams were retained for style, and have led to the car's present fame. 3 of the original 4 cars are known to survive and each has been restored to their former glory. 2 have been honored with Best of Show awards at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance. N of 57,374. The first production Atlantic was actually assembled from pieces of the Aerolith show car. It was restored over long-term ownership of Dr. Peter Williamson on New Hampshire. The restoration culminated in Best of Show at the 2003 Pebble Beach Concours, shortly before Dr. Williamson's passing. 57,374 was then sold to Peter Mullen of the Mullen Automotive Museum near Los Angeles. N of 57,473. This Atlantic has a most unfortunate history. Early in its life it received several styling changes at the hands of the renowned Paris coach builder Joseph Goni. While the changes were subtle, 57,473 stands different than the other Atlantics. Its history takes a dark turn afterwards. After World War II it spent some time as a race car and then was sold to a René Chattard. Chattard and a female companion were driving the car near Gien, France when they and the Bugatti were hit by a train. Neither survived the crash and the car was confiscated by French police. Much of the car survived, but what remained was purchased in 1965 by an enthusiastic Frenchman who began a full reconstruction. The car was finished in 1977 and then went on to several owners before the car underwent a full restoration by Paul Russell and Company in 2006. The car has been restored to its Goni specification and won acclaim at the 2010 Pebble Beach Concours. N of 57,591. The final production Atlantic led a charmed life that continues to this day. It was originally sold to a Bugatti enthusiast in Great Britain. It came under the ownership of Ralph Lauren, who then commissioned a full restoration with Paul Russell and Colorado. 57591 was unrestored at the time but had received multiple rebuilds and touch-ups through the years. Russell and Company were able to cut through the past restoration work and revive the car back to its 1939 glory. They were awarded with Best of Show at Pebble Beach in 1990 and Best of Show at Villa d'Este in 2013, along with many other top awards. A 4th car with an unknown chassis number was kept by the factory but records of it have been lost. Type 57S45 A special Type 57S45 used a 4,743 cc's engine like the tank. Type 57G tank the famous 57S-based 57G tank won the 1936 French Grand Prix, as well as the 1937 24 Hours of Le Mans. 3 57G tanks were produced. Serial number 01, the Le Mans winner, is currently on display at the Simeone Foundation Auto Museum in Philadelphia. Atalante. The Atalante was a 2-door coupe body style similar to and built after the Atlantic, built on both the Type 57 and 57S, but with a single-piece windscreen and no fin. Only 17 Atalante cars were made, 4 of which reside in the Cité Copyright de l'Automobile Museum in Mulhouse, France. 1 Atalante, chassis number 57784, with a 3 seats, 37 cm elongated aluminium bodywork made by Van Voren, resides in the Museu do Caramulo in Caramulo, Portugal. Van Voren would do 2 more bodies alike, one for the French government, who gave it, in 1939, as a marriage gift of Prince Reza and Princess Fawzia, and another one. These 2 cars are in private collections in the United States. The name Atalante was derived from a heroine of Greek mythology, Atalanta. Rediscovered Type 57S Atalante . In 2008 the Bugatti Type 57S with chassis number 57502 built in 1937 with the Atalante coachwork for Francis Curtin, 5th Earl Howe was discovered in a private garage in Newcastle upon Tyne, having been stored and touched for 48 years and known about only by a select few people. It was auctioned in February 2009 at the Ra Copyright Tramobile Motor Show in Paris, France, fetching a $3.4 million, becoming one of the highest valued cars in automotive history, owing much to its extremely low mileage, original condition and ownership pedigree. References: Ray Bonds. The Illustrated Directory of Sports Cars. Motorbooks. ISBN 0-7603-1420-9. External links: Type 57 History at RIT site.